Hi everybody, this is Khashayar, and in this part I'm going to continue developing our little game with Pygame. And before we continue, I need to tell you that now we need to understand new aspects of Pygame, and that would be use of group of sprites. And for that we are going to use sprite.group, and sprite.group is a kind of container class which you can have a couple of objects in it. It's like a list, and you can control multiple objects and have some kind of operation on them, remove them for example, or update them, draw them, delete them, and so it's make a lot of easier for us to write our game. But then before we start even writing our objects and classes, for example our ball class or player class, let's create our container here. Let me come down here exactly before our main function. Write it objects, and in objects I make a variable all objects, and that will be Pygame dot sprite dot group. So you can take it as a list of objects or a container which holds a couple of objects in it. Alright, now we go up a little bit and we start to write our class ball, for example. If you remember how we've been creating class in Turtle, we pass a Turtle inside the class after the init method. So we start, we try to inherit also from the Turtle class, like a parent class, if I'm not mistaken. So here we need to do the same. Here we have to say Pygame dot sprite in our class, and after init method define init and self, then again Pygame dot sprite init self. Okay, now for creating an image with sprite, we need to do just a couple of things, just a couple of line of codes. First, let me comment this out here. Create an sprite. I'll create the sprite, not sprite. Then we write self.image equal Pygame.surface, and this is the size of the width and height of the object. We make it 10 and 10 for now. Self.image.fill red. As I said before, we could also write here, for example, 255 and 00, but comma 00, something like that. But it's better we have them as a constant variable. Now we need to get a rectangle kind of method for our object, so we can calculate the size, top, bottom, and we can place the object in the screen. We can have control of the movement and for doing that we need to call the rectangle or rect method. Then self.rect equal self.image.get rect. Placing, now we need to place the objects somewhere in the screen. Of course the ball will jump around, but for the beginning we should specify where will be our object, where will appear on the screen. So position of the object, can set the position something like set position in turtle method, set position, or set pose in turtle. It's same like that, something similar. Then self.rect.center equal, here is the reason why we are using constant, for example, even for width and height, because instead of using numbers we can simply use width and height as a reference. So where we are going to put our object, we can just use our width and height. Width divide 2 and height divide 4, and we can take it a little bit higher. We can say divide minus 3, and set that. Actually, let's see what we have before we continue. Alright, now we have our class. Let's create an instance from the class, or have an object from our class. Here we say ball equal ball. Now we have the object. We create an object from our class. And now we need to add the object inside the container sprite groups. So all objects dot add ball, same as you are appending the object to the list, almost the same. Still, when we run the game, of course we won't have any image on the screen, because we wrote the class, we create an object from the class, also we add the object in our container, but we didn't draw the object. If you remember in last video, I said in our main game loop we need to take care of game updates, drawing and reloading the screen. And here, because of our container, which is sprite group, we just simply say in our game updates all objects dot update, and after in drawing section we say before we draw our object, it's better to have some kind of background color for our screen. You can have any background, but for this game I choose black background. So screen dot fill dot black, and after we can actually draw our object. And how we can do it, we say all objects dot draw, where we are going to draw on the screen. So here, if you choose to say window or s or any other variable name, you have to pass it here. And at the end we going to Pygame dot display flip. Okay, means in our main game loop, it's setting the clock here, checking for events, checking for, oh, it's good, I check here all objects, checking for all the updates which we have in our container. After it draw one layer of background on behind the screen, and after it will draw our object from our container on top of that background, and after it flip the page, so we won't see any of them until the page reload. That's why we will have some kind of feeling of animation or movement on the screen. And now Control S, let's try to run it if we don't have any problem. Oh, we don't have any problem. Now we have our smallest rectangle or square on top of the screen. Okay, let's create another class now, because we need to have also player which controls the paddle. Oh, let me just open up a little bit space on my desk. Okay, now class player, same way, I'll push it down a little bit, same way, Pygame dot sprite, and init method, define init self, again Pygame dot sprite dot init self. Here exactly we are going to use only 4 line of code to create our object, but we are going to change the width and height and the position of the object. So I just copied that from another class and pass it here. We can write still here create a sprite. Okay, and what I'm missing here, okay, 10 and 10. Actually, I don't remember is the first number is height or second number is height. Let me change it here to 30. For example, let's see what we'll have. Okay, the first number is width then. Oh, I shouldn't close that. Okay, one more time. I have it here. Okay. Then this will be 10, and here we make it like 50 maybe, 50 and 10, and where we are going to have it, where we can have it. Also we can change the color to blue. Then we can put it in the middle of the screen, which is okay, and here we can put it a little bit lower than something like that. Again, we create the image, we create the sprite, we fill it up with the color, we get the rect method for it, and we set it on the position, desired position. Now we come down here, we already have our container now we create the object. We say player equal player. Okay, and all objects that add ball here, all objects that add player. Okay, so we should already have our player object appear on the screen, because we already draw objects, every object from the container, which is all objects. No such file or directory. Oh, where I am. Okay, I should be here actually. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now we have our paddle object on bottom of the screen, but let's make it a little bit wider. Make it 70, something like that. Now it's better. Maybe it could be also wider, even wider, but that's fine, we can fix it later. Okay, then until now we have two classes, which one is for ball and one is for player. We create a container for our sprites. We have two objects, ball and player, and we have added these two objects in our container class. So I think this can be enough for this video. So I'll continue developing this game in next video. Thank you for watching and see you in next time.